linking the Nmda hyperfunction hypothesis to the dopamine hypothesis of schizophrenia. Positive symptoms. The most relevant to schizophrenia are the glutamate pathways that regulate mesolimbic and mesocortical dopamine pathways. Now, the cortico-brainstem glutamate pathways regulate the output of glutamate from the cortex to the brainstem VTA for both these circuits. It appears that the cortico-brainstem glutamate neurons that innervate only the dopamine neurons projecting from VTA to the nucleus accumbens, that is the mesolimbic pathway, directly innervate those specific dopamine neurons and thus stimulate them. And as previously stated, the dopamine hyperactivity of these downstream mesolimbic dopamine neurons is associated with the positive symptoms of schizophrenia, but is actually caused hypothetically by the disconnectivity in upstream glutamate neurons, and namely defective and hyperfunctional neurodevelopmental glutamate innervation of PAV-albumin containing GABA interneurons at Nmda receptor containing synapses. It is also possible that the disconnectivity of the upstream glutamate neurons in the hippocampus contributes to the downstream mesolimbic dopamine hyperactivity via 4 neuronal circuits. And these are as follows. The disconnected and defective hippocampal PAV-albumin containing GABA interneurons going to the hippocampal glutamate neuron projecting to the nucleus accumbens, then that neuron projecting to 2 GABA spiny neurons in sequence. The first GABA spiny neuron going from nucleus accumbens to globus pallidus, and finally the second GABA spiny neuron going from globus pallidus to VTA. Now, loss of this adequate glutamate function at PAV-albumin containing GABA interneurons in the hippocampus could lead to hyperactive glutamate output from glutamate neurons that project by this circuit to the mesolimbic dopamine neurons in the VTA, with the consequential dopamine hyperactivity and positive symptoms of schizophrenia. And stimulating 2 GABA interneurons in sequence has the net effect of disinhibition, that is, inhibition of inhibition at the VTA, the same result as direct stimulation. And understandably, the bottom line is that excessive upstream glutamate output from either the prefrontal cortex or the hippocampus may contribute to downstream dopamine hyperactivity and thus positive symptoms of schizophrenia.